From under the bridge to around the town, this is the Prattle Proos. So get your ears close to your speakers and button up those britches for a good time.
Welcome to the Prattle Proos. Is this our final before Christmas, Jason?
No.
We're going to have one more?
We're going to have two more.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Layla and Aaron.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about them.
They're right on the eve of Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been a good year.
Yeah. Very good year.
Mm-hmm.
Way better than last year.
And this is probably one of the best, most entertaining monologues we've ever had.
I know, since last year.
Since last year.
It's better than last year's. Everything's better than last year, though. Yeah, last year was rough.
Week. Why was last year rough?
Because we weren't even doing the podcast.
Well, that's because this time last year, exactly on this date, I was getting a nose job.
Yeah, you were, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's done pretty well, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's a good sniffer.
Yeah. It's too bad you're married, because so many ladies have complimented you on it.
Okay, that's going to be edited out. What?
I'm just kidding.
Hey, look at that guy.
They don't say it out loud. They just compliment you in their head.
Was the surgery elective, or you had to do it?
We haven't introduced you yet.
Oh, it's between yourselves. I'm sorry. We wait for the introduction.
It's a monologue, doofus. Jeez. It's my ABC conversation. Is that how that goes? That insult? I'm
No.
rubber, you're glue. No, but out of my conversation.
Is that really one? I don't think that's a saying.
It just was.
This is an A-B conversation, so that's it.
Yeah,
so see your way out of it.
Oh,
yeah.
Do it again. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Start over. So, Jason.
Was it elective, or did you choose?
This is an A and B conversation. See your way out.
Let's not edit any of this out. Just leave all of it. I love this.
Spontaneity.
Speaking of A and B conversations, how about we introduce Adam now that he's come in? Adam is our guest today. Adam is a fraud investigator by day.
I used to be a photographer in another life, if you believe in reincarnation.
Did you really?
Yeah, in my mind, I was a photographer.
What did you like to take pictures of the most?
I liked the lint that comes out of a dryer. Is a beauty, artistic beauty to it that I would just catch the light just right. No, I've never held a camera.
The lint out of a dryer.
I didn't know if I should.
Yeah, what is it? You catch the light of a lint coming out of a dryer.
Oh my gosh. I didn't want to hurt your feelings and say something.
Because of this podcast, there's going to be people taking a picture of their dryer.
It's going to be a thing on TikTok.
Look at the light.
Why is there so many lints? We don't care about the lint in your dryer.
He's right. This is beautiful. Wonder which lifetime he lived in.
Take a guess. It's probably where there was dryers.
Recent past.
Were you the guy who was shooting a video of Jack Ruby?
Oh, when he was walking down the hallway and met his demise?
No, he didn't meet his demise. He met...
Oh, he shot. Oh, he's the guy that shot. No, I wasn't anywhere near there. At least
Lee
knowledge.
Harvey Oswald. That's a history reference.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
John F. Kennedy.
No, Oswald shot Kennedy. Ruby shot.
And what do you think of
Oswald.
that? Was he put up to it? Who was behind him?
The mob.
Okay.
Do you think it was the mob for real?
Right to the left. Watch his head. Right
Is this
to
a
the left.
JFK movie reference?
Wow, this podcast is off the rails.
That was a good movie. A little theatrical, I think.
So
but
welcome to the podcast,
Thank you.
Adam.
Good to be
Thank you
here.
for joining us.
Thank you.
So yes, Adam is a fraud investigator. We're going to dive into some of that. What does that mean? What is that like? And then he also has some very nice history for us.
I'd like to think so.
I almost wonder what's going to come out of your mouth next.
Stay tuned.
He looks into the camera for that one. Stay tuned, everyone.
So interesting. Stay informed. All right. So Adam also went to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yep.
Also known as
UNLV.
UNLV.
Or Tumbleweed Tech years ago.
Tumbleweed Tech.
Yeah, that wasn't its official name, but yeah, pejoratively.
You know what I heard about that university?
What's that?
Whatever happens there stays there because the degrees aren't honored by anybody else.
Is that true?
There's no transference.
There's no transfers.
That's not true.
No, it's not true.
Oh my god. You guys are
I need
teaming
my
up
money
on me
back
today.
if that's the case. Good Lord. Lost its accreditation, yeah. They just closed yesterday, actually. You'll see the news about that.
Yeah, right.
Not public yet.
We're going to get a thing from UNLV now. Don't deface us. Is that what you call it? Deface?
Yes.
Discredit.
Please,
All right.
please face me.
They have a sense of
again.
humor there, so we're okay.
No, they don't.
When it comes to Adam, they do. Oh, Adam, we love Adam.
They had Shark as their
Adam,
coach.
you had an opportunity as you were filling this out for us. You got to meet Sally Ride.
I did. Yes, I did. And it was a brief interaction. I actually met her.
Who is Sally Ride, though? Let's go in to
Yeah.
tell our viewers and our listeners what.
She was the very first female U.S. astronaut. So there were a couple Russian cosmonauts that predate her, but in terms of the United States, the first female astronaut to go into space. And I think she did that in 1983.
Yep.
And was very involved in the space program, promoting it amongst up and coming the youth, and trying to promote interest in NASA and thinking beyond our terrestrial space of Earth, I guess, as I put it. But really an interesting lady. I don't want to say that she's not thought of now, but with such an emphasis now in terms of SpaceX and NASA, it seems like it's kind of taken a little bit of a back seat in the public understanding of space. And I think it's important to keep people like her, trailblazers,
I agree.
front and center. But yeah, I got a chance to meet her when I was working at a hotel in Las Vegas. I worked at Green Valley Ranch. If any of you are familiar with that, it's off strip, but a pretty neat spot. And for whatever reason, it was a mecca for 80s personalities. I met Night Ranger there.
Night
Rick
Ranger.
Springfield's band. I met Sally Ride. I mean, it was interesting. A lot of 80s people seemed to be
Were
there.
they all there at the same time?
No,
They
that would have been
they
even
were
better.
in the group. They got out of the car.
Sally Ride, Night Ranger.
We did a We Are the World style song in the lobby with everybody.
With Sally Ride.
But yeah, I had the chance to meet her, and maybe a minute interaction, minute long, and I just said it was. I mean, as corny as it is, I said it's really an honor to meet you, and because I recognized her a little bit, like this person looks familiar. She still had like the curl type of hair, and then I looked at the reservation. I said, "There's only so many people with that same spelling," and then I realized, oh, she's here for a conference. That's her, and she was very gracious. And went on her way, but no, it was neat.
Do you know what happened to
cool
her
is that?
later in his career?
In her career,
Yeah.
you talking after she left NASA and everything?
Yeah.
No,
I think she retired as a 3-star. I worked.
really.
A 3-star general?
Yeah. Let me take back when I say worked for her. I was way down on the list.
Okay, but
But
still,
it's underneath Stratcom. So
wow,
yeah.
Wow.
that's pretty
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. When was that you met her?
Oh, that was probably 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, I met her, and then Phil Knight, the Nike guy.
Oh, with Knight Rider.
Oh, yeah.
No?
Phil Knight, the Nike guy, the guy who
Ranger.
started Nike.
I was way off. Okay.
Hey, who did he run with in college?
Oh God, who would that?
Who, the Nike guy?
Yeah, Phil.
He went to
Phil Knight.
Oregon.
Yeah, went to Oregon, University of Oregon.
Yep,
Yep.
Who did he run with in college?
the Adidas founder who.
No, Prefontaine. The first
running
sponsored-
with. I thought you meant hanging out with.
The
Running
first
with.
sponsored Nike athlete was Steve
Prefontaine. Wow.
Yeah, and Bill Bowerman is where he got the idea for the shoes because Bowerman used to make them on his wall flyer,
Wow.
the coach. So
Yeah.
What used to make the swoosh?
no, the the swoosh on the
How do you make that on a wall?
He invented that.
the tread for their
on the bottom.
on the bottom for
Okay.
their cleats, basically not cleats. They didn't wear cleats, but on the bottom of their shoes, lighter shoes, faster shoes. So
Do shoes make the difference?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When
You
I
think
put
so?
shoes on, I can instantly run like 4 miles per hour faster.
yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Jordan only had a 20-inch vertical until those
Air
Airs.
Jordans.
Especially when you pump them.
Yeah, it makes it.
That's not true. Michael Jordan probably would kill us for
For saying they had pumps. Those are two different brands.
but also saying he only had a 20-inch vertical without the shoes.
Yeah, all of that. Well, at least
The guy was
he'd be
a
a guest on
super
our show
athlete.
then.
It would be, yeah. Just set the record straight.
Set the record
Bust through the wall just down.
Guys, we want to be on your show because we want to talk about this.
Phil Knight. Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm really excited that you got to meet Sally. I'm a huge
That was the-
space buff. I
Oh,
love space.
I see the
I love-
astronaut thing there. Yep.
Yep. That's straight from Apollo 15.
Wow.
Actual replica. No, it's actually the real one that they used
Really?
in Apollo 13.
Yeah.
15.
It's amazing what
It's
you
a
can
helmet.
you can survive with in space. With
Well, as time went on, it the hardness of it kind of dematerialized.
oh,
and
I
stuff.
see. Okay.
So now you
Yeah.
have to grab it and show people
Should I get up?
because everybody's like, "What? What?" Yeah, hop up. This is my NASA helmet. Yeah, it keeps you warm in the winter.
Points at it.
I got that from Space Mountain, the ride in Disneyland, Disney World.
Well, we can all dream, you know. I mean, that's amazing.
So that hat is kind of funny. It's a funny story. I wasn't prepared to talk about that, or else I would have the pictures up. But we went to Walt Disney World, and I got off the ride, and it's my mission to embarrass my girls wherever we go.
It has to be, yeah.
And so I was coming off the ride, and the lady was stocking it with that helmet. I bought it, and I put it on, and I never took it off again.
The whole rest of the
The
day.
whole rest of the week. Every single ride, I have a picture of me with that hat on. I even got to be part of Belle's Extravanaire or whatever play that they do. They invited me up on stage.
See, it got you pointed out in the crowd. You can make it even.
Yeah.
You should have gotten paid. This is a paid advertisement.
For NASA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Government, assistance here.
Well, they got their money's worth because I bought it. And everybody loved it. My daughter said, "You look like a toe." Yeah. Jason's over here texting people while we're having our podcast.
No, I was mistaken. It wasn't Sally. I wanted
This
to make.
podcast is so interesting. Hold on.
I have to make a correction. It wasn't Sally Ride that it was over me in Stratcom. She died in 2012.
Sally
So-
Ride did, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
two-
it wasn't
yeah.
her. It was the second.
Second
The astronaut.
female astronaut?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what was her name?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know why I got them mixed up. But
Yeah.
good. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, we will. We don't want to disrupt your screen time. So, there's another thing that I found interesting and humored by before we get into your fraud investigation.
Yeah.
Apparently, you like Buffalo Wild Wings so much so that there was a challenge. And tell us about that challenge that you had.
Yeah, this is when in the good old days before they made the sauce weak, and that's for everybody trying it now. It's weak. You got to try it about
Which
10
one?
years ago.
Like the ghost?
The blazing.
Oh, the blazing, the actual
Yeah,
blazing sauce.
I
Okay.
think it's ghost pepper now. No, it's still super spicy. I'm just giving people a hard time. But somehow I stumbled into doing that while I was there with a group of people, and they I don't even know how they proposed it, but they said, "Oh, we're doing this challenge coming up now. You want to be part of it?" And I don't really like spicy stuff, anyways. I mean, I'm pretty milquetoast if you look at me. You can tell that.
Milquetoast.
But I said,
But you gave
okay.
in.
I gave him, and I think it's like 10 wings or something. I don't know if either of you guys have seen it or done it before, but
No.
they take the wings. The problem is they take the wings out of the fryer, basically right on the plate, and then within 30 seconds, boom, you got to start eating.
So it's not only hot from spice, it's hot from the fryer.
That's the part that was not pleasant. Yeah, so you're just fumbling, trying to hold the wings, and you can dip them in ranch, from what I remember. I think you can do that and eat them, but they don't let you have any liquids or anything, if I remember right, till after you finish, or you don't pass. And I want to say it was 5 minutes or something? 2 minutes. 2 to 5 minutes. I'm not giving a very good rendition of what happened.
No,
but
this is great. This is great.
But essentially, it got down to 10 seconds, and I feel horrible. And I got to finish the last wing, which is the worst. But at that point, you're crying, you're sweating. All you just feel is fire. So just a little bit higher version of fire is probably not going to matter at that point.
So your face
you
is
gobble it
numb.
Your face is not numb so much as just it just feels like it's ablaze and nuclear fallout.
So what's another hot wing gonna do for you?
Exactly.
So
Yep.
did you win?
Well, you don't really win. There's no winners. It's just if you finish, you get a T-shirt. So I guess you get a participation trophy for
So
finishing.
did you get the T-shirt?
I did get it. Yeah.
Why didn't you
Nice.
bring it today?
I think I burned it in effigy.
And another competition.
You burned it.
Whoever can burn it quick. Yeah, that's the other competition, burning Buffalo Wild Wings shirts.
What restaurant is this?
With Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, her name was Susan Helms, and she was the first female military
Susan
officer
Helms.
selected.
When
Wow.
did she go up?
93.
93.
Multiple
Okay, so
times,
that
but
was
93 was her first time.
Atlantis or
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Yeah.
Okay. Endeavor, I think, is in. Where is that one on display? Is that the
Milwaukee.
one in Florida?
Oh, I thought it was in Milwaukee.
Is that one in Milwaukee?
No,
You're so full of it.
there's not one in Milwaukee.
They
There
don't
should
have
be,
one
though.
next to the breweries or anything? No?
In
You
Milwaukee.
stumble over to it? No? Okay.
You guys are awful. Here I am trying to legitimately get a location, and you both are tag teaming me. This is not fair.
This is not fair.
This was not part of the pre-talk that we had.
This
All right.
podcast, I am doing all the research.
Okay, so let's talk about your fraud investigation.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to talk about anything with work or anything like that, but I do want to understand, what is fraud investigation? What do you do?
Yeah, so it's really both to protect the true clients that I work with. Something as simple as, hey, I had some money taken out of my account. I didn't do that. What is this about? I got a notification. To people that are in on the scam, maybe they either take your information and open the account, then are calling saying that they're you, or you yourself are the person that opened the account. You're getting money from an unknown source, funneling it through the account to its end destination, trying to do it before we're any wiser about what your activity really is. And
Does the bank tell you that, or you guys actually? Does the bank contract with you guys to watch their stuff? How
yeah,
does
we
that
we
work?
partner. Yeah, I work for a financial institution that banks essentially are the senders of the funds for an individual's account. They want to send money to us. It comes over. They can then invest it within our shop. At that point, when something suspicious happens, our group gets triggered into, okay, review what's going on with this account. Why is there this sort of strange activity, whether it's checks being written, there's transfers going out back and forth between our account and maybe other institutions. There is vague references maybe that the client, quote unquote, and I use client in quotes because, again, it can be either the real person that's engaging in something strange that we have to look into further, or they've made up an identity essentially using different, synthetic pieces of real people's information that they can kind of cobble together. We will review that and then determine, okay, is this person really up to no good? Is the money really theirs? Could it be somebody else's that they stole? And/or are they really maybe a victim of circumstance in terms of being a scam victim?
Wow.
And there's more scam victims than you would think. It's really kind of sad how many people can get hoodwinked of sorts by one thing or another.
Is there a certain generation that gets hoodwinked more than the other?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with technology awareness. So individuals that are not as spruced up on how to use the computer or an email, if an email looks strange, and I know you guys are used to seeing, you can point stuff out if something looks off. Like, why is this email saying I'm winning the lottery overseas? I just got to pay them $10,000 in taxes. But, there's a subset of people, and it can span generations, that they might be by themselves. They're kind of like alone, lonely, and they're either looking for a chance to meet somebody, which we'll see a lot of romance scam victims, get hoodwinked by someone claiming to be a love interest of theirs, or they will think, okay, this is my chance I'm coming up, on no money. I don't have any money, and this is my chance to make something, and I'm going to see if I can take it.
Sounds like desperation.
Desperation's a big part of scams, I would say. Yeah, desperation and/or they think, wow, this is my chance finally. They think it's fortune smiled.
Yeah. Wow. Is there anything with insurance fraud that you do with, or is it mainly just banks with?
Yeah, just basically financial assets. Insurance fraud, I always thought would be a very interesting area, especially like life insurance. Some of those suspicious
that's what I was
disappearances and things. No, I don't work in insurance at the present time, but that would be an interesting area.
That would. What's the craziest scam? Most amount of money. Well, no, we can't do that because then that would be identifiable.
Well, I can say that we are seeing situations more so now where, and it's right at the very beginning of it, but with AI and the technology to alter people's voices and make a voice, it's not quite there yet, but getting closer to mimicking someone that you might know.
Yep.
And if the bad guys, and it's not that hard to do, if they're able to get into your system, and they can do that as simply as saying, hey, I'm from such and such antivirus company. We saw you have a problem on your computer. Would you let us please remote onto it? People will let them do that because they're thinking, oh yeah, it's
That's
whoever.
real.
If they can get into that, and then they can kind of sit back and lie in wait on your system while you're looking at your finances, while you're looking at your email, they can embed themselves in all those little points of contact, so to speak. And from there, they can craft a fairly sophisticated scam where they might maybe give it a couple weeks. They know about some of your family members, etc. If they can get any sort of voice print, now this gets really sophisticated, but if they can get a voice print of maybe a family member of yours or something.
So if somebody calls you,
Yeah.
Hey, this is your warranty's expired,
Yep.
and you say something back.
They can get that. They can get that snippet. Yep.
Wow.
And as things go on and time goes on with some of these technologies, they're getting to where they can mimic a person and down the road use it to convince, let's say, a loved one of the person who they've gotten the voice recording of that they're in trouble. Hey, your grandson is in jail. You got to pay the bail on him right away. We need $10,000. You got to send it in Bitcoin. And when you step back and look at it, as let's just say an objective third-party person, you're thinking, how does this happen to somebody? But if somebody's under stress, they're hearing the voice. Yeah, we're going to put your son on the phone. He's in jail, but we're letting you talk to him for a minute. And they're hearing this voice, and it matches what they're used to hearing, the inflection and everything of the person that they love. They're going to do what they need to do to help them.
Emotional response.
And it's that, and they're going to try to nab you in that moment to act and do the sending of the money.
Wow.
It's in that moment. They don't want you to end that interaction so that you can talk, you can think about it and be like, wait a minute, I'm going to call my grandson or whatever and really try to make sure this is actually happening. If they don't answer, then, maybe something is wrong, but I'm going to call. So we're seeing good people get taken, and sometimes it's for large amounts of money. I dealt with a situation where someone had a person impersonating the federal government, saying that they needed to comply with a federal investigation about their finances, and they had this person withdraw hundreds of thousands of dollars from different institutions. They go to the bank, they go here, they go there, and they had the person duct tape the money and then physically give it to the impersonator. Mm-hmm. So this person had a badge. This person had signage, apparently of making them appear that they were a legitimate agent of some kind. And the people that are perpetrating a lot of this, if they can find someone that's of means that they think they can work over in this way, they're going to try to isolate them from telling other people, hey, this is an undercover investigation. Don't tell anybody. Exactly. Don't tell anybody.
Police. We are the police.
You can't trust anybody. You can't trust the bank. They're involved in this, but you need to get your money out, and we're going to help you with protecting
playing
it.
on those emotions of fear and
exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Jason did that to me once.
Oh, he did. Well, it's all about coming clean, Jason.
I cobbled.
It's not too late.
I cobbled a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's
a cobbler.
I cobbled.
Used to take all my
That's where
toys
the
when I was
saying
little.
cobblestone came from.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's what I schemed him out of a lot of
A lot of
cobblestone.
these. It's interesting about the AI stuff. So there's patterns.
Wait, no. What's interesting is my story about cobblestone.
No, that's why I moved on. I saved our listeners. Everybody's scratching their head. What? What is he talking about?
I saved them.
Okay, so there's patterns.
Yep.
Typically, there's patterns, right?
Yep.
What is the craziest pattern that you saw as an investigator?
Hey, listeners, listen to me. Cobblestone. Don't pay attention to that guy.
Your mic.
This is a fraud thing right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, I think it really ranges. We've seen trends that involve just like a large group of totally fraudulent accounts that get opened that already have kind of like middleman go-betweens that are already looped into the scheme so that they can all call when we see something out of the ordinary about why are these accounts in this particular area or this region of the country with an address. They're all using maybe certain types of computers or IPs or whatever, or something interesting that seems to maybe link some of these. They all then will call, very short period of time, all these different people with a really interesting story about what you blocked my account. I'm trying to bring in X amount of money here. What's the suspicion? I haven't done anything wrong. You can call the bank. Blah blah blah. They may already have the bank. They may have opened the fake account at the bank, so the bank account's going to be in their name. They've scoped out addresses for what address they're going to use on their account that they've opened that might be vacant, so that there's nobody that can report. Oh, I got a weird advertisement or a weird notification about an account that I never opened because they're using an address that nobody's at, so they can nobody's going to report anything about that.
Wow.
And they'll especially if the money's come into the account already and it's been restricted while we're trying to review what's the legitimacy of all this. They'll really press on the customer service folks that have to take these incoming calls with a lot of anger. They'll try to use strong arm tactics. I'm going to go to the police, or I'm going to the SEC to bring some problems to you all for keeping me away from my money. But it's amazing how well some of these folks that are the go-betweens on these scams to put fake money into these accounts or stolen money, how well they think through what their script is going to be.
Yeah.
That they're going to use. It's getting really sophisticated that way.
Wow. I mean, does it not cross their mind that, we're going to go to the police, you partner with them on investigations. So how is that a threat to you guys?
Yeah. No, I think from the standpoint of the regulatory structure that financial companies have to work within, there's so much latitude you have about, restricting the account, doing your due diligence, but you also, you have to make sure that you're not blocking real people out. And that's that fine line where if you're taking too much time to really drill down, a complaint can be filed where it raises concerns of the regulatory agencies saying, hey, you can't just keep this person out if you haven't proven anything yet. You gotta release the funds. And so there's a delicate dance there, because sometimes it's harder to really get down to the source and prove, this is not their funds. We've proven it. Sometimes it's quick.
Because they won't get the funds back if you open them up, if you release them. It's done, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
the FDIC can't insure any of that, right?
So
up to a certain amount. But.
Yeah. So especially with banks, so we don't fall under the FDICs. We don't have a banking component to us. We have some other protections, but that's more so with banks. But it's kind of a alphabet soup of guidelines and regulations at times that you have to balance against thieves.
You know what? I do. Here's something you guys can talk about. Dog catching. You want to be a dog catcher when you grow up.
I said something about running for dog catcher. Is that what I said?
You did.
I did.
So if you could win $10 million, you would want to run for the city dog catcher?
Well, I thought about library board. I don't know if a dog catcher exists. Is that? I know that's been
not
used.
A government position.
Yes.
Back in the old days when the cartoons,
there was the dog catcher
and stuff. There was a dog catcher.
Well, there was a dog catcher, but he wasn't on the government council staff.
That's the best cartoon ever.
No, but I thought about library board or something where you can make a contribution, but you're not in the soup of all
what are
controversy.
Some of the city council positions that you would be?
What city council positions would I be interested in?
Yeah, that's where the real politics takes place.
That is at the local level for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you need a lot. I think even for city council, you need several $100,000 in terms of being able to run an effective campaign.
Okay, speaking of campaigns, that conversation got boring. Tell us about the dog catching.
Well, I think
such a jerk.
I'd have to wear, if I was going to run for a dog catcher deal, I'd have to wear that full-on bite suit and everything like that. So I don't think that would go too well, because you're not very fast when you're trying to chase a dog in a bite suit.
Would that be your commercial? We can do better commercials for you.
No, I'm trying to find it. I'm over here trying to find it in my document.
I know, but
I saved it somewhere. I promise I did.
But
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. So we're going to go to Barry Bonds.
Let's go back to the time Mike McGuire,
and Sammy Souser.
Mike and Mark did it. Yeah.
It was Mike, Sammy. Now I'm calling him Mike. Mark, Sammy, Barry.
Yep.
You
Different
had
seasons.
The privilege of doing what about them? So just to give some background for those people that are not baseball fans, this is at the time frame is what.
98.
Yeah.
Oh, 1998 for Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa, the face-off to break Roger Maris's one single season home run record.
Yep.
Yeah, 1998.
Yep.
And
this was unprecedented.
Oh yeah.
In the papers everywhere.
Well, the record was set in 1961, so that's how long it was stood.
Long-standing record.
And then 60 was the record before that, which was Babe Ruth.
Yep.
So we're talking years between both of those being broken.
So this is a big deal. Okay, so
it was. Yep.
Was that a good lead-in?
That was a good lead-in, yeah. And then, unfortunately for Mr. McGuire and Mr. Sosa, Barry Bonds, they only lasted 3 years, the record for McGuire, and then Barry Bonds broke that in 2001 with 73. 73. And then he was on a tear, as we all know, anybody that followed his career. And in 2007, he crept up the home run list over his career to finally reach the culmination of getting to where he was going to be soon to be breaking the all-time home run record, which Hank Aaron had.
Which he took from?
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a long-standing one too. What, 40 years earlier? Maybe. Yeah. So that was a long-standing one, and
because the 70s 75 is when Hank Aaron, I think, is when he.
Yeah, something around there. Yep. Yeah. And my sister lived in San Francisco at the time, and so I was going to be visiting her anyways, and I tried to time it. I knew where Barry Bonds stood with the record, and it was like imminently he could break it, because I think he had been hitting. He was on a hitting streak at the time. So when I got down there, the day before I got to San Francisco, he had broken the record. He had tied the record. So I thought, okay, this is going to happen. There's like 2 games while I'm here, and I think I'm going to be able to do this the way he's been hitting. I get to the game. I think he struck out the first at bat, grounded out to second base on the second at bat, pop flied into, like in the infield on the third at bat, and then the fourth at bat, waiting in anticipation. There's a tension over the air. Everybody's waiting for this to happen. You hear the crack of the bat, ball, big lofting arc, and it goes to the warning track. The guy's drifting back, the outfielder catches it at the wall. And that was my experience trying to see him break the record.
No.
Where were you?
So you didn't get to see it.
I didn't get to see it. He broke it. He broke it the next game.
Where were you sitting?
I was sitting in right field, in the cheaper seats, but I was there at least.
Where was this again?
This is in Pac Bell, I guess it was called at the time.
Pac Bell.
Whatever it is now. Is it Oracle, you were saying?
Oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That was it in the San Francisco Stadium.
Because what's it? Right field's got the bay like right behind it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he hit a lot into the bay.
Yep.
So and there's not many seats in that right field.
Yeah.
I know for sure.
Because I was gonna sit. I tried to get seats to sit in that right field, and there's like 3 rows or something like that. It's super cool though.
Have you guys been in? So during that time frame, shortly after, right? So this is like 2000, 2001
Okay.
time frame. The Diamondbacks were making their way. Mark McGuire was still playing.
Yep.
Randy Johnson, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
He was a two-sport guy.
He was still in junior high. No. Who was the guy that pitched with Randy?
He went to Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling, thank you. Yes. So anyways, during that time frame, we had some tickets, season tickets. We were just newly married. We didn't have kids yet, so we're like, hey. So we went in together with some friends on some season tickets. They were 6 rows up from third base. Third base line just down a little bit from third base. Mark McGuire during batting practice gets up. We love to go to the games really early so we can do batting practice so that we can just watch them and relax. And if a ball comes our way, great. He smashes one. Have you been in Bank One Ballpark?
Yes.
Chase Field now. It was Bank One Ballpark. So Friday's Front Row Grill.
Yeah.
Boom up, and it hit the letter.
Wow.
On the Friday's Front Row Grill, and it shattered the.
Oh my God.
Shattered the thing. I don't know if you remember going or seeing that where the sign was broken for a while.
That's amazing.
But
How
that was
far
from
is
Mark.
that? How far do you think that is?
That had to have been, probably 490 at least.
Yeah.
And then Richie Sexton when he played with us.
Yeah. The tall guy, real tall,
Really
right?
tall first baseman.
Yeah.
He jacked a 500 and some odd foot home run, and it hit the Jumbotron, and it broke one of the lights, and they have that light from the Jumbotron. It's like that big.
A scene from The Natural almost.
Yeah.
Might as well have been.
They have that on
Kind of.
display out there when you go in the stadium.
Wow.
It's actually on display out there.
That is
But
cool.
It was so cool to be at that game because just to hear it, and then the crowd is just dead silent when it hits that far. Everybody's like, whoa.
Yeah,
It's almost like a supernatural type of thing to see that.
it's
It's amazing.
natural. Like,
And they're wood bats. That's the
Yeah.
thing. They're not loaded. I mean,
Yep.
Sammy Sosa got in trouble for
He did. Near the end of his
they
career.
All three
Yeah.
of them got in trouble. They're talking about
For
putting
cork?
asterisks. Yeah, not just that, but for using
performance enhancing.
performing enhancing. So
Where do you
But
guys
Sammy
fall on?
Sosa actually had cork in his bat.
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah, he did.
corked his bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you guys stand on? Do you think those players should have an asterisk? Should they get into the Hall of Fame and have an asterisk, or should they not be in the Hall of
If
Fame?
they actually did it, it's 100% no. They shouldn't.
No, not
I
at
mean,
all.
Pete Rose didn't get in for gambling on his own team.
Yeah.
So he didn't gamble against his team. He always gambled for his team, and he didn't get in. So we're talking like doing stuff that, because that would include
Legitimately
Roger
cheating.
Clemens. Yeah, this is legitimately cheating. This is like Roger Clemens. They think he did too, and
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and my kids don't listen to our podcast anyway, so I'll go ahead and just talk about it. I love my girls. So when we had those season tickets, we're so close to the field. Barry Bonds played outfield, left field.
Wow.
He didn't. He played for his bat at this
Yeah.
point in his career.
Yeah.
Right? He could hear us as we were cheering and stuff, and I don't remember I don't think I was saying it, but the group that we were with, they were heckling him like crazy, and he would turn and just look at
Get the
our
death
direction,
stare.
and we're like, I'm sitting here like this, just covering my forehead.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
he locked eyes with a couple of people, and I'm like, oh my gosh. One of them was, what was the cheer? Berry juice and lemonade. Yeah, that was bad news. That was bad news. That was such a good time in baseball.
Yeah.
it really relaunched baseball after the '94 strike.
Yeah.
Because the '94 strike almost killed it. So, but when in '98, everybody was watching to see if they would break that record
Oh,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
and who would win it between the two of them. So.
Yeah, it was all over in the papers.
Yeah.
all over. In
We
the
were-
papers.
we-
I still have a paper that I saved.
Saved it?
Mark
headline?
McGuire hit 64. That was when he hit 64.
Oh man.
Yeah, because we didn't have the internet back then.
Yeah.
No.
Everything was headlines.
No, we
in
were
the
doing
paper.
fantasy football out of the internet and pulling up news reports and like taking the stat lines and then adding them together.
They didn't have
Wow,
the
that
internet,
takes a lot
though.
of work.
Well, no, in
Back
'98.
in the 90s.
In '98, we had the computer lab at school, so we had
At
the
school.
internet.
At school, we did. But yeah, the old dial-up modem.
Yeah.
Screaming at you.
No, so we would go in and we wouldn't find out till Monday who won because
Yeah.
we'd compile everything
Jason, you know what? This conversation helps me feel
like
old.
cobblestone.
I feel so old. Like a cobblestone road.
It's a throwback episode.
And we learned a lot about space.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about investigation and fraud.
Yeah.
But what I really want to know is what's with the 92 Lincoln LS?
Oh man, those are awesome. They have if you remember, the trunk has like an indent of like a faux tire.
Yes.
That would fit inside of it, you know. Those I thought were always really, really sleek looking, and a big transition from how bulky and boxy the Lincoln Town cars, you know, that predated that were. So I always liked those. Lincoln doesn't make any sedans anymore. I have a Lincoln sedan, but they stopped in like 2020.
They went to the SUVs now?
They did all the SUVs, yeah, and that just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but they need more. They need more sedans.
Lincoln.
How did it change your thinking when you're driving it then? Do you still think like McConaughey does when he's driving it, or do you get like angry?
I've never been zen like McConaughey, so I don't know
What's
if I
one of
could.
the quotes? Drive a Lincoln. What is the quote that he usually says? We'll see.
Oh, you know, that always went over my head because he has a zen-like quality that I just can't.
He does.
Can't.
He does.
Yeah.
Very
drill
soft
down
voice.
Well, yeah, but it's always in the SUV, so probably you're just like
Oh, I tuned it out. Yeah,
What's
I'm not
great
climbing
now-
a mountain in this thing. I just want to get from point A to point B
Well,
in
that-
comfort. Just
and
comfort.
quiet.
Exactly.
And
Quiet
let the car
comfort.
drive itself.
No, not quiet, because your thoughts are anger right now. Because they stopped
With
making
rage.
them.
Have you ever? So Matthew McConaughey. So yeah, he's known for his Lincoln commercials,
Yep.
right? But have you ever watched Interstellar? After you've watched those commercials, you just can't get that out of your mind.
Yeah, I've seen other stuff.
That Lincoln commercial side of Matthew,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you go into this philosophical. That's a real word. Philosophical. Philosophical. Plano's a really big word.
The physical part
Yeah,
of
he
philosophy.
Stop picking on me. Oh, wait, I was picking on myself. High-rise apartment. If you won $10 million, you'd want to live in a high-rise apartment. What
Yes.
strikes you about those, Adam?
Oh, there's something about looking over a city skyline, and you're in the heart of the action, the center of the city, and I don't know. There was always just something very appealing to me about that.
You want to own it instead of rent it, because you're renting
Own the
one
building?
right now.
Yeah, I wish I could say I own it. No,
You
owning
need a lot
one
more
would be
than
the
$10
key.
million
Yeah,
to
you see-
own a skyscraper.
Add another zero, but I could rent one, I guess.
Yeah, footprint and like chase are like here for him now. So he just does a footprint chase.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What he does is he runs around the neighborhood in a footprint chase.
I see what you did there.
I see what I did there too.
Yeah, that was totally accidental, but it worked. It's a footprint trace.
They should have a
But
race from footprint center to chase field. It's like 100 meters long.
They don't announce it though. They just are dipping in and out of between cars. And They don't have a plan. It's just
No, it's-
impromptu footprint chase.
No, it's like
Where'd he
$100.
go?
$100
What did we
entry
get?
fee. Where do we go? Right there.
You know, if we were big time, Prattle Proos, and there was something like that happened, they'd probably blame us. Because it's just ridiculous.
You inspired us.
We would sponsor that. Are you kidding me?
There's no organization to it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Prattle Proos has got it.
We will sponsor your run.
Where was
What are
this
you going to
race
give
going?
us? You said in here that you would give us something
Yeah, I think
if you won $10 million.
if I won
Let me
$10
just
million,
preface that.
I'd have just enough with $10 million to
Buy us a churro from
provide you
Disneyland?
all a sense of humor. So I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Adam,
come on.
where's the Kleenex? Wipe the tear away. Thank you. Thank you. Because ours are terrible. We need a refresh.
We go through training. And our instructor's Gallagher.
No, you both seem very rich in spirit.
The
And
Carrot Top and Gallagher are our two instructors.
Carrot Top. Is he still around?
Yeah.
Carrot Top's in
He's
Luxor, in Vegas.
Is he
yeah.
really? He has
Still
his
does
own
it.
show there?
Yep, still does that.
Wow.
He gets really mad when people do jokes like this too.
Where they don't make any sense?
No, where they mention him as not being funny.
Oh, I didn't mention him.
I did.
He can be friends with me then. I don't think I've ever heard him. Student government.
Yes.
In college
Yep.
at UNLV, you
Yep.
were in the student government. You were the chief of all the presidency.
Yeah, the chief. Yeah,
I
I
just
was
made that
student.
up.
I was.
What were you in the
Yeah,
presidency?
somehow they. I guess they had low enough standards to elect me as student body president twice
Oh my god.
at UNLV.
UNLV.
That's awesome.
And it was very cool. It was the neat thing about UNLV is it has a really big mix of different students. I mean, they could be in their 40s, working full-time, family, going to school. You could have the typical, 18-year-old college student that's just out of high school that's going in for their degree. So you had a blend. I mean, we had some students that were in their 70s going to school, going back to school. And you don't always have that at different places. So it was a really, really cool mix of people. They weren't real set in their ways because they're still young enough. I think it's only been around for 50, 55, 56 years now. So they're still finding themselves in their programs, and it's not too stodgy yet. Like
I didn't know UNLV's only that old. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, 1957 officially. Before that, they were an offshoot of the University of Nevada in northern Nevada.
Pretty big rise for that basketball team.
Oh, crazy, right?
Yeah, the late 80s, early 90s.
It's almost like the Hoosiers.
Yep.
Speaking of Hoosiers,
it's not
that's
like
one
the
of your
Hoosiers.
favorite shows.
Oh, that movie is...
Was it the Shorts?
Is that really one of the movies that you put in there?
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, big time.
Hoosiers?
Why would I just make up a story here, Jason?
Because we were talking about basketball.
Hoosiers is basketball.
I know, that's what I mean.
I will say something
It's one
about
of the
those
greatest
shorts,
movies
though,
ever.
is in high school when I was in cross-country running, we had to wear stupid shorts like that, and I hated
But they're
that.
coming back.
They're coming, and I don't understand that.
You have
I'm
to,
like, I have to avert my eyes everywhere. I can't stand
You
seeing
have
those
to
shorts.
run in those shorts. You have to split legs. I'm serious. If you're doing like what I was doing, which is like 20-mile runs, those split legs were like a savior.
Why?
It's like the cyclist. You know, it looks ridiculous, but no, that is the split leg shorts. We ran with just the split leg shorts, and that's it, and shoes
Yeah.
across campus. I'm serious.
Wow.
When I was a runner at Middle Tennessee State University, and then we wore tights in the winter because if you're going that far, you just can't wear the baggy shorts. You can't wear it weighs down on you.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I can imagine
It's a good
the
thing I wear
functionality.
Speedos.
functionality. It's for functionality. It's not for looks.
Neither's a Speedo.
Speedos are
And that's
awesome.
what I wear when I run. Speedo. American flag Speedo.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yep.
No, but
Everybody's throwing up.
No, the
right now.
Hoosiers
Ugh.
did wear the shorts, but UNLV was wearing the Larry Johnson,
Yes.
Stacey Ogman. We're talking some great players.
Yeah.
There, so.
Yep.
Adam?
Wait, there's
We're not done already, are we?
No,
there's
we're not.
there's
Getting the yank
two
here.
quiz questions that I thought of for him.
Okay. I've been asking all the questions, Jason.
All right, so the first quiz question is, although there were many things that caused the rise and fall of this party, what seems to be argued as the two events that caused the rise of the Whig Party and the fall of the Whig Party?
Boston Tea Party.
I'm going to be honest. I already forgot what you had told me earlier about it.
So the reason why you have a black mug so that we can't see in it, you're drinking something that you shouldn't be drinking. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Yep. I brought my own
I
flask
can
here.
tell. I can tell.
Which part? What caused the rise of it?
What caused the fall? I think they didn't like Jackson, right? And people like
No,
Jackson.
that was the start of it.
Van Buren.
Van Buren was a Jacksonian. They thought that Jackson was a king type character.
Okay, yep.
They wanted to end that concept.
Yep.
And they were for bigger tariffs, and they wanted they wanted the bank back, the U.S.
You know
bank.
what is so cool about this story?
No, wait. We haven't gone to the fall yet.
You know what's really cool about that story is everybody's asleep now. They were listening to our podcast, and now they're like,
But there were 4 presidents.
We're talking about important world events here.
Who were the 4
that
presidents
affected
before we
everything.
did the fall?
The 4 Zachary Taylor.
Yeah.
Adams was one of them.
No.
What? He was too a president.
He wasn't
William
a Whig.
Henry Harrison.
So I'm partially
Harrison.
right.
William and Henry Harrison. Yeah, you get 50%.
And you didn't give John Tyler credit, though. He's not a Whig.
He ran under a Whig as a vice president.
Okay, so he's 3.
But he went back to the Democratic Party at policy wise. And then the last one.
Oh, God.
I want to talk about
Because
Globetrot cruises.
You know, this is interesting. This is super interesting because 2 of them died in office.
2 of them. Oh, William Henry Harrison and
Zachary Taylor.
Zachary Taylor,
And
yep.
then they were replaced by
This is back
Tyler?
in like the 1700s, right?
no
1800s.
18s. Yeah, 1830, 1840s.
And William Henry Harrison died. Did he die of eating tainted cherries, or
No.
did he die from the cold?
The cold,
Isn't
because
that a
he's not
debate?
giving a 3-hour speech in like negative temperatures, and he was like 70 years old. He got pneumonia.
Who died of the fruit? They tainted fruit or something?
What?
Didn't somebody die of eating tainted
Was
cherries?
it Zachary Taylor?
That
I don't know.
might have been him.
Millard Fillmore is the other one.
Millard Fillmore.
And then the fall, Kansas Nebraska Act.
Oh,
What did you
okay.
just say?
Kansas Nebraska Act.
Kansas, Nebraska.
Because they didn't take a stance on the whole battle over slavery.
Oh,
So-
okay.
We just learned a lot. Jason, you are a history buff.
Have you been to Nebraska? I've actually always wanted to go there. Have you guys been there?
Yeah. Why do you want to
yeah.
go there?
It just seems like it's, all the wheat and the farms and everything is very, what this country's, built on.
Yeah, Kansas, they have a lot of that too.
Yeah.
The big thing about Nebraska
Go to
is
Iowa.
Peyton Manning uses Omaha
Yes, he
as
does.
one of his change the play
Yes.
code
His
words.
tagline, yeah.
Omaha.
Omaha's actually pretty nice.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's like 2 hours
Well,
from
'cause
Kansas
it's
City.
it's the capital, right?
No.
Lincoln?
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Lincoln's the capital.
Yeah, Lincoln is. Lincoln
I'm
is.
not going to do the second question.
No, I think
Should we talk
blew
about
everybody's minds with the first one.
Should we talk about teleportation? We'll blow everybody's mind with how that works.
How teleportation works. Tearing every cell down in your body and putting it back
Down to
together.
the atom level.
Yeah.
ATOM.
Oh.
Wait, teleportation's being
That's a good one.
teleportation's like Star Trek where you go.
Yeah. Beam
Yeah.
me up, Scotty.
What's the one where you're? Oh, levitation's when you're above the ground. I
Mm-hmm.
was getting them mixed up.
That's what everybody's
no,
doing
you
right
don't.
now.
Nobody
listening to this
gets
podcast.
levitation and teleportation mixed up.
Adam just did. That's actually a very common thing for investigators.
It's like getting transportation. And,
Adam, did you ever get to go undercover?
No, I didn't.
If
I
you-
don't have a
if-
badge or anything.
Let's
no.
pretend. If you could go undercover, would you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Would you?
Yeah,
Like, would you
depends.
be? So I'm envisioning an undercover detective, like you're like a gangster.
no, he'd wear like the Hoosier shorts with the big.
And you'd be a coach.
I'd have to teleport back to the 50s and then go undercover there, time traveling.
Do you guys? So
I would
here's-
fit
here's a
right
And
serious
then
question.
levitate the whole way through.
Here's a serious question. Have you ever seen the movie Catch Me If You Can?
I have never watched that.
Oh,
But you know about
that's
Frank.
good.
Yep.
So my question here is: so Frank Abagnale, Senior,
Yep.
that's what that movie was based on.
Yep.
Frank Abagnale, who lives in Tulsa,
Yep.
who now helps the banking industry for fraud. He was one of the biggest influencers, I think, for fraud back in the time with checks and stuff.
Yep.
Do you guys use his methods as part of your training or anything like that? How he thinks through stuff or anything?
Oh, I think
Do you reference him?
not his name specifically, but I think some of his concepts and things have helped to influence certain approaches and certain ways of approaching a certain scam or a trend. And throughout not only us, but throughout the whole industry, I think has adopted some of his teachings.
What about
That's amazing.
the guy who was chasing him, Todd Hanks?
Is it Todd? Todd Hanks?
So the police officer was real, but his name was not Tom Hanks.
No, it's Todd Hanks.
Okay, so for the sake of Jason's question, do you think that the police officer that caught him has anything to do with the influence of Frank Abagnale Sr. on the fraud community? Did I ask that right, Jason?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think law enforcement's.
No, he's answering seriously here.
No, I think law enforcement's changing their tactics over the years, and because that was in Frank Abagnale, it was 60s?
60s.
1960s, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's advanced a lot in that time, but the approach that the FBI agent in that situation had and then how they adapted and how they evolved to technology changing and everything, yeah, I think that has absolutely bled over into the private sector.
yeah,
awesome.
and speaking of teleportation,
Yeah.
this is along the lines of some of the future things. Todd Cruz thought of a way to arrest people before they commit the crime.
Minority Report, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that broke it, though.
And he
You
became,
know, I wrote
he
that-
became
he
the teacher.
broke it.
He did break it, yeah. But he became a teacher how to,
yeah, and it's just starting to trickle
Catch 'em.
down to us now. We're figuring out how to
catch 'em
foresee
before they
it.
do it.
Yep, how to foresee it. I'm working on
With
something
three
now with that.
psychics in a pool of water.
He's working on that. He takes a bath every night. And he lays there, and he's like,
It's all about the pH of the water the psychics are sitting in. That makes the difference. That provides the clarity.
And which bath bomb you use.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, man, I love Todd Cruise and Todd Hanks.
On that note, Adam, thank you very much for letting us learn from you.
Oh,
letting us joke with you.
Always
and then
happy.
also making fun of us.
Yes.
Prattle on, prattle proud.
No, thank you for the time
And
and
offering to get us classes on humor.
Wait, what?
school is in session.
Thanks for prattling with us on the Prattle Proos. This podcast is a production of Clayton Bowen and Jason Smith. Copyright 2024, present Prattle Proos. All rights reserved. Any reproduction or distribution of this show without express permission is prohibited. Unless, of course, you're sharing it with your grandma, then we'll allow it. Got something to prattle about? Hit us up via email at prattleproos@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow and review wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, keep it weird, keep it prosy, and remember, you're never too old for a good laugh. Ha 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 ha!
Remembrance. That question to Sarah is reminiscent of that time I didn't make it to the bathroom and shot all over myself. The insight you gained from her reminiscing was everlasting and brought you to the remembrance I see.